Hey guys, going to be doing this without a script today. Just wanted to give a quick tutorial on charm and what it does. So, what does it do? Charm as a stat is going to increase 3 statistics of characters. It's going to increase your status down amounts, your buff amounts, and your healing amounts. As a healing amount, it does not change potion effects, and it does not change food. So increasing charm is not going to increase the amount of healing you get back from spamming that goulash, so don't do it. What it doesn't do, it does not affect skill power, and it does not affect duration of time effects like burns, poisons, things of that nature. That one should come with a little bit of an asterisk, because it has been talked about allowing charm to increase in some method. Basically it would affect your duration of time damage skills like burns and poisons. Now it's going to be doing that as a primary statistic, which means it's going to give the biggest reward amount for if you're trying to build into status downs, buffs, healing amounts. Like if you're a cleric or if you're a support dual raider, then charm as a stat is pretty valuable for you. It also comes with a little note that there's secondary effects, there's secondary statistics that are also going to give you the same effect in smaller amounts. Each class is going to be different. For a hawker, it's going to be dexterity. For a soldier, strength. For a muse, it's going to be intellect or intelligence. And for a dealer, it's going to be concentration. Now, what numbers exactly are changed? If we look here at rapid twitch, you're going to notice it says movement speed up 15% plus 57. 15%, that is a set amount. The only time that ever changes is with a skill level increase, or in some weird twisted universe if it was to be decreased or reset completely, well then you just don't have it, so boohoo. Now it's also going to affect, and this is the tricky part because somebody asked me about it, or tricky to some people's minds I suppose, it's going to increase the status down effects on skills. Now there was a video by a certain staff member, not going to say who said, I'm going to increase charm to increase the strength of this spell. That was a little bit misleading and unintentionally so. What was implied by that is that it's going to increase the strength of the status down affected, thereby in a roundabout way increasing the effectiveness of that skill. So if we look here at Clamp Arrow with the movement speed down 20% plus 28, and you also notice a skill power of 130% plus 105. The only number that changes is that plus 28. So if I was to go in here and pump this up to, say, we'll give it 40 points of charm, so we'll stop at about 50 here, and go back to it, you'll notice that that 28 is now a 38. Now, yeah, the amounts that are going to be increased or decreased depending on the class and what status down effect, and that's up for debate on how much you should, value charm. Obviously for dual raiders it's quite valuable. For things like scouts, maybe not so much, but it still does give you that bit of bonus. For example, everybody knows don't go to 400 on a stat cap. That's because the amount of investment that you get is so high in cost and the return is so little that you can actually increase another secondary or even a third stat by so much that it already is going to outweigh the effect that you would from your primary stat. That being said, we can move on to the healing amounts of skills. Now, scouts don't have any self-heal generating abilities, and like I said, it does not affect the amount of health that you're going to get back from food. For example, the Hot Sniper Goulash is going to return 5,725 health. If I was to increase that, now you don't need a lot of charm to increase something that has that high of a value. It's still the same. Now if we go to something like Bloody Assault from a dual raider, you'll notice that the absorption amount is HP 100% plus 99. Now that's with a charm value of 60. If I was to increase that charm amount to, let's say, an even 100, given a little bit of time it takes to actually add the stat to it, you'll notice that the healing amount is now 100%. That didn't change, but a plus 123. Now, it's debatable on how effective that heal is. At lower levels, that could be good. But, you know, with it being a PvP, you're probably not going to be PvPing very much at level 110. And you're also going to be leveling so much faster at that level bracket that static amount on that skill is kind of moot. It doesn't really do a whole lot. It does provide a nice little extra bit. If you miss, you still get the 123, but you obviously didn't generate any damage to get the heal from it. All of that being gone over, I don't think that there's really any specific detail to go over as far as stats go. There is still the tiny, minute effect that Charm has on questing. Some of the original myths were that it increases experience reward from monsters. It does not. It increases your drop amount. It does not. It increases the amount of reward that you get from questing. It does only on certain quests. That one's kind of weird and all over the place. It's not even easy to describe, but most of the skills that actually are affected by Charm are the old quests. If you're new, you're not really sure which quests those would be, so relying on it or building your stats, your permanent stats to a character for that specific effect is not really recommended. The best thing you can do is get some cheap Charm gear, and whenever you turn in the quest, put it on your character, and if you get a little extra reward out of it, pretty sweet. Another myth about it was it increases success rate of refining. It increases the success rate of drills. It doesn't do either of those. And there's one that's kind of sketchy, and I've gotten mixed results on both ends from it, and that's that Charm is going to increase the amount or frequency of quest item drops. I don't think it does. Last time I checked, if that was the answer I got, it doesn't. There's tons of myths around Charm, but the 4 things it absolutely does change is your buff amount, your status down amount, healing amounts from skills, nothing else, and certain quest rewards. Anything else, it doesn't affect it. Don't worry about it. It's probably a rumor. It could just be some guy trying to yank your chain and trying to get you to waste stat points on something so your build's a little bit diluted. That being said, I believe I've touched all of the points that Charm has to offer. Until next time.